All right, here we go. Here's the summary for May the 6th. May the 6th, we had two alerts under our stocks. We had CLH and NVDL. Both of these did pretty good. So for NVDL, we had a alert starting at 8:32. We had our stops set right beneath this line here, the low of the day. So our first stop was set for 35.55. Our second stop was set for 35.55, and our first was for 35.87. As you can see here, the low was 35.97, so it missed our stops. Decent pullback right there, but then it was all calls from there. So we had a nice little rally, pretty much straight to the pivots, so decent targets to go there. For CELH, which was our second alert, and we had quite a few alerts for this one. We had alerts starting at 8:40 all the way to about 8:55, which is our time frame for getting these entries. So after this nice massive pullback right here, we had started getting the alerts, and our stops were set for different targets here. Let's take a look where we were, but it's pretty much right below these lows, which is pretty nice because the stops are pretty tight, but our targets are pretty decent. So our first stop was 32.13, 32.24, 32.3. So nice little range there for our stops, depending on which alert we got there. And obviously this missed those stops, and then we had a nice little rally here for the rest of the day, all the way up to 36. So, and this is the results of those alerts. Let's take a look. So we go take a look at our summary for the day. NVDL, we went from 71 cents to 98 for the first one. 38%, 36, and 127% for the last one. And then CLH was by far the best one. Let's go ahead and rewind that a little bit here. Okay, so taking a look at this a little slower. So NVDL, we had 38%, 71 cents to 98 cents, 36 and 127% by going from 77 to 175. $1.75 on those 38 calls that came in at 8:55. And then CLH, these ones did really, really well today. So 245, 194, 129, 291%, 225, 267, 137, and 225. So obviously this is depending on that, the time of the alert. Since these are repeats, you wouldn't see it up top. But basically the same contracts kept alerting over and over just because the math made sense. And that's what the data was supporting. So we could have just kept adding to these or just held the original positions. Either way, they did fairly well today. So let's move on to the next set. All right, next we had the Qs. The Qs did also really well today. So we had a couple of alerts here at different price ranges. Normally I like to filter for below 5 or below $1. Those seem to be doing really well based on the data. But taking a look here, we have the 481 calls at $1.65, 500 calls at 51 cents, and 500 calls at 4.28, and then the 485s at $6.11. So taking a look at the summary, we had some decent returns here, 86, 125, 72. So anywhere from 20 up to 188%, depending on the alert and the expiration date. So for May the 6th, so today's date, 481 calls did the best at 188% potential return. So you had the opportunity to take it anywhere between $1.47, the price you could have got in at, all the way to $4.24. Taking a look at the other one, so let's take a look at the SPX. This one also did pretty good today. So at $17.35, we had the 566.10 calls. These ones came in at 8:35 in the morning. Then we had the 512s and 5.6 expiration as well. So 57.20 calls and the 56.20 expiring on 5.6. So today's expiration, we had the 56.20s at 13, and those went all the way to 33.99. So as you can see here, some decent returns there, 147 up to 161 for those $13 calls there. So, and then let's go ahead and take a look at SPY. SPY didn't do so well since it was kept alerting for puts today. It refused to swap sides, so these didn't do too well today. So the data just didn't work out very well for this one today. So we had a mixed bag of results. So we didn't really, these didn't perform very well. So this is SPY. And then lastly, we have IWM, which is also a mixed bag, which also kept saying puts only. Best one here was 140% potential return here from 5 cents to 12 cents on these 193 puts expiring today. But again, if you don't have your dashboard set to look at percentages over pennies, you wouldn't have even thought about getting out when it was just 12 a 7 cent difference.